You write me, booker@bookerlawfirm.com. Your question ends up on the show. Bring you to the court of my public opinion. We're not going to look at this as legal advice because I don't represent you and I may not have all of the facts that I need. However, I'm going to do the best job that I can with what I have. Without further ado, let's get it crack-a-lacking. Order in the court. What's up, y'all? Sorry, not ready yet, but I'm going to be ready and I'm going to start this. So it is what it is. It is what it is. What's up, y'all? What have y'all been up to? I see a few people have emailed me, honey, and I am going to answer your questions. And y'all, people just go on the channel and they just ask me like questions or how they can, you know, get their questions on the show or whatever. I give them two different ways. They can either be on the show, not be on the show, and it's in the comments and the replies on the different videos. Okay, and so they just do, you know, what I asked them to do if they would like to have their question posed here. And so I have a few to go over as usual. So let's roll. And guys, if I post your stuff, I'm not going to say it's from you unless you tell me in the email to do so. I'm going to keep it confidential, okay? So I just want that to be understood, girl. I want to in the court. We're ready to move forward, okay? Let me see, because I'm going to answer the latest ones that I received first. What constitutes a peer in a state jury of one's peers? Is it the same in race, gender, socioeconomic status, background, age, education level, or a minimum combination of any of the census demographics? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, some intelligent questions. Guys, this is the problem. We don't have juries of our peers if we're this color. If we're white, yes, the jury is of our peers. If you're Asian, no, the jury is not of your peers. If you are Indian, the jury is not of your peers. If you are anything other than white, the jury is not of your peers. Okay, but it is what it is. Those are the people who are answering. It's so cold outside. Wind is blowing. Those are the people that are answering the jury summons and showing up. So those are the people that you get. When they say that you should have a jury of your peers, what they're saying is people out there that look like you, people that act like you, people that look like you, people that have your education level, people that have your job. It's all of the conglomeration of the things that you just listed. So we're going to go back over what you listed. You said, is it the same in race? Yes, that is what we are seeking to and aim to get. Is it the same as in gender? Yes, that is what they are seeking to get. Socioeconomic status, absolutely. That is what they are looking for. Background, yes. They want them to be the same socioeconomic background. They want you all to have the same age, the same education level, okay? It's all of these things. And here's the issue, guys. This is the problem. You know, when people get the jury summons and they don't go, there have been plenty of times that I have had a young black girl with eyelashes and weave to the back of her legs, or a young black girl that just was a young black girl with no weave, or I've had a mulatto or a person of mixed race and or descent hang a jury. And so that's why you want people that look like you on the jury. You want the jury to be made up of people, a mix of people, so that you get a fair shake. If it's a bunch of older, conservative, white Trump supporters on a jury and you're up for robbery, if it is a bunch of older black women on a jury and you are up for a hate crime, how can that affect you? You understand what I'm saying? And so that's why a jury of your peers is important. It's important that people go to, you know, when you get your jury summons, go to jury duty, because it allows the attorneys like myself to be able to pick from a pool of people so that we can pick the ones out of that pool that look like our clients, that have the race of our clients, that have the socioeconomic level and background of our clients, that have the same level of education as our clients. Because sometimes people just God forgive me for saying this, but they shit on you because you're nothing like them. They can't compare themselves to you. And when you can't compare yourself to somebody, then you can't put yourself in their shoes. You won't understand what they're saying, and you won't be able to empathize, sympathize, agree with. It's harder for you to agree with somebody that you look nothing like. You all don't have the same experiences. You all don't have the same anything. And so the thinking that someone who's nothing like you is going to understand you, it's a cold shot in the dark. So that is why, and I'm sorry, my hands are just ashy. It is cold outside. That is why, and I wash them all the time because of Corona. But that is why we as attorneys push, a lot of politicians push. I just saw, y'all, and I was so happy. Our district clerk, Marilyn Burgess, put up an ad. And the ad that she put up was like, you need a jury of your peers. And it was a lot of Hispanic, Black, and Asian people in the jury pool. And like 1 or 2 whites. And so what she was basically trying to do was say, hey, y'all ain't coming to jury duty and you're not giving yourselves a fair shake. Hispanics, where are you? Asians, where are you? Indians, where are you? Blacks, where are you? Young folks, where are you? Because y'all have to understand that times change. The law is a living and breathing thing. And what happens is you don't want a whole bunch of retired ass people because they are the only ones that have the damn time to come to jury duty, per se, to be judging you. They don't even know what the hell the latest song is that's out. They have nothing. They have no idea what's popping. They don't understand any sort of linguistics or anything that comes across the jury booth that has to do with hip hop or that may have to do with country music because they listen to classical. So it's like, and you need those things. I remember when I was a young attorney, I used to sit with a guy named Ronald Ray a lot. And when I used to sit with Ronald Ray and I worked under him, he was like, man, you give me that edge I need because I'm older. He's an older guy. He's Muslim, and that doesn't mean anything different. He's Black. But at the end of the day, he's just not in the mix like that. And I'm in the mix. So when it comes up to stuff on the police report where they're using slang and stuff, I can tell the jury what that means. I can question the witness and ask the witness what you meant by that so that the jury gets an understanding of what the witness meant. Because let's think about it. Let's just say somebody says, I'm going to F you up. Okay? There are different, and you're up for assault. There are different reasons when somebody says, I'm going to F you up. Somebody could be saying, I'm going to F you up in a good way. Like you're dancing, and baby, I'm going to F you up and tear and break it down. They could be saying, I'm going to F you up like I'm going to hurt you. They could be saying, I'm going to F you up in a joking way. But if somebody who is not of your, that is not your peer, not from your socioeconomic level, your background, they may take that, you're in an assault case, and I'm going to F you up, guilty, because you said you were going to mess them up. And they don't even understand that that's not what you was talking about. Y'all was at the club and you was talking about dancing. You understand what I mean? So that's why a jury of your peers is important. It's important because a lot of times slang is used in a lot of cases. There's not many formalities surrounding a lot of criminal cases. And old, staunch white people are conservative and they are formal. Period. They don't like us talking like they think this is rude right here. You understand what I'm saying? So, of course, I can't talk like this if I'm in court, but I'm talking to you, right? If I were to talk to them like this, they would say I was being rude. I wasn't being formal enough. This is inappropriate behavior and speech and verbiage. So that is why you want a jury of your peers. Next case. Next case. And I like that question. We need to be in jury duty. Next one. Can an everyday citizen with no connection to a criminal case in Texas, 5th District, request print copies of court transcripts, questions, and testimony, not records or evidence? If so, how? Guys, this is pretty much how it works. If you are not a party to a criminal case, you don't have a right to the records. Okay? You have to be requesting them for some reason. You can't just be somebody off the street and say, I'm going to request a transcript. Now, the media does it all the time, and that's why a lot of the times the judges have to determine whether or not they're going to release that stuff. Transcripts are normally given to the parties or family members. I've had family members of parties on their family members' behalf request transcripts. I would assume that technically on the surface, yes. On the surface, yes. Unless it's a sealed case, you can request records of any court transcripts, questions, or testimony, unless that testimony was locked down. So yeah, but it sometimes there are hills that you will run into in doing that, if you don't have any connection to that case. Okay. Another thing is, but you can always try. But more than likely, yes, you will get the records. What's a thing? You know what? How would you know how to get the records? You'd have to get them from the court reporter. The court reporters, they're, I'm sorry. Normally, if you go inside of a case, because cases are public record, you can then see exactly what court reporter took the transcript, was the person that typed it up. And you have to get to that person to order the transcript. If you're talking about, you said district court, so you could possibly be saying, I don't know if you're talking about like Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals on the federal level. You have to file that in the case. They don't just willy-nilly give transcripts out. You have to actually file that transcript request off in the case in order to get it. And that has to be, given to her that way. In a state case, you normally just email or call the court reporter. They have telephone numbers. They have emails. It's on the website. Or the district clerk can give you that information. Or the clerk of the court can give you that information. And then you just go straight to them in an effort to get it. Okay? And then you pay them and they will give it to you. Because that's a job that they do outside of. It's like they are court reporters for the court. But when they write it in shorthand. In script. It's a subscript that it comes out. So it doesn't have the words. Like if I said citation was never issued, they're not going to type citation was never issued. They're going to type like cite not issued or something like that. It's very short. So when you order when you order a transcript, you have that court reporter now using their time to go through the entire thing and turn it into English and transcribe it all the way out. It's now coming from shorthand to longhand, and that takes time, and that's why you have to pay for the transcript. If it's a long transcript, the transcript could be $600, $1,000, thousands of dollars. Short hearings could be $300 if it's an hour hearing or an hour and a half. It could be about $300 to get it. But depending on how long these court proceedings are, it is very expensive. So that's why people don't really get them, except for the media when they can. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next case. Criminal defense question. My husband's been doing everything he's supposed to do when it comes to his probation. He's been having a hard time working because a lot of places don't hire people who have a felony. He's been trying to save up for his probation, but the things are hard to keep up with because we have bills, daycare, and everything. What can I do about this situation? How do I get him out of jail? Baby, most of the time they don't lock people up for fees. They lock them up for other violations. They don't really normally lock them up from not being able to find a job. It is a violation, but they normally don't lock someone up for that. What they lock them up for is failing to provide proof that they have been searching for a job. It's not that he's not getting hired. It's that he's not providing proof that he's out there actively looking, more than likely. With fees and stuff, you just let them know that you're indigent. You go to the court and you tell the court that you don't have money. You write a letter to the court letting them know your financial situation, and these things can assist you. But what you must always do, you're not going to be able to get off of probation until your fees are paid, number one. And number two, when they tell you that you should be having a job and having gainful employment, just because you can't find a job doesn't mean you are allowed to stop looking for one. And you better turn your proof in or they will arrest you. Because what they don't want to see is you sitting around doing the same thing that you've been doing that led you to this life of crime to begin with. Okay? And they believe that if you're not rehabilitating yourself, you're not moving towards trying to better yourself and finding a job, you are doing nothing but putting yourself in a position to be back on the streets, to be doing the same shit that got you caught up in the first place. And deferred and probation is about rehabilitation. And if they believe that you're just sitting up there waiting for the time to pass so that you could become the same person that you were before, they will violate you. And that is why they have you pay different fees and make you find gainful employment as a condition of probation or deferred adjudication probation, because that shows that you are trying to be a different person. So I have not ever, and I'm not going to sit up here and say that it does not happen, but I've never one time in my, how long have I been an attorney? I've been an attorney since I'm 20. So I've been an attorney for 12, 13, what is it, 2009? Yeah, I cannot add. I'm going to tell you right now. Let me see, 2009. 13 years, I guess. This is so embarrassing. Who gives a shit? I'm 13 years. Okay. It'll be 13 years towards the end of the year. So I've been an attorney for 12 years, going on 12 and a half years. Okay. And so what happens is, well, not even 12 and a half yet. So it's 12 years. It'll be 13 years in November. That's how we do it. So in my 12 years, I have never seen a judge lock somebody up for not having money, and I've never seen a judge lock somebody up for not having a job. I said that to say, ma'am, there is something that you are leaving out, or there is something else that he did. Okay, or he did not turn in the proof like I said. I have never seen it. I have seen some very strict judges in my day, and I have seen some of the whitest, conservativist, staunchest, republicanist judges not lock nobody up for not having a job or not having money. That's just very cruel. And I know people think that judges are cruel, but they're really not. They just see a lot of bullshit and they sift through the bullshit. They have these bullshit meters that are just impeccable, and they just don't care when it comes to you trying to give them an excuse for something when they see another way that you could have done it. That's all it is. So basically, that is why he's in jail, not because of the other things. Although they may be listed, it's because he's making an excuse for them. He's not trying at all. If you have to give him $5 or something like that, then yes, you have to try. You know, you may have bills and stuff, but you need to give $5 or $10 or $25 towards your fees. You got to show that you're trying, honey, or they will lock you up, okay? So that's how it goes. Now that he's in jail, I don't really know what you would do to get him out of jail, because he could be possibly adjudicated already and adjudicated guilty and serving a sentence. If he's not and he's up to be adjudicated because they're trying to revoke his probation, then you need to give it his lawyer, and based on whatever they're saying that he did not do, you need to help him do it. I do it all the time with my clients. I get the family members involved, whatever the list of things is, and we start going through trying to get proof for whatever they had been doing that they just didn't turn the proof in for, and other, amongst other things, to turn it into the court so that the court does not revoke them and they come back out on their deferred. Okay, so that is kind of what you have to do and how you do it. All right, but you need an attorney. You can't do that by yourself, baby. Child custody question. I'm going through a custody case and I've been doing everything via Zoom lately. I received an email about a motion is set on the non-jury docket, but there are no instructions on where to be or how to access via Zoom like previous paperwork I've received. Also, according to the temporary orders, we're supposed to have an amicus attorney talk to us and give us her finding, which has not happened yet. I'm not sure what to do or who to ask about it. This is a San Antonio case. It's a child custody case. Listen, guys, what is wrong with people not calling the court to ask them? You have your case number. You know what court you're in. Google the doggone court and call the clerk and ask the clerk. Write a letter to the court and file it with the court saying that you don't know the information on how to get on the Zoom and letting them know these things. File a letter with the court telling the court you don't know why you have not received the amicus report. What is wrong with people writing? We don't like to write no more. We don't like to write anymore. To where we use slang a lot. I do it. I'm guilty. To where we write in shorthand on text messages. I'll be right back. KMSL. All these things. And we don't like to write anymore. Write a letter, boo, to the court. Write a letter. File it. Okay? People will see it. And then notice the parties on it. Because you have to do that. Send it to all the parties. Then they'll come back and tell. Because if you are not on that Zoom when you need to be on that Zoom, and you were not provided the Zoom information, and the court sees that you, hold on, there's a letter here from the respondent or for the petitioner, says they were not provided the adequate Zoom information. Anybody know about that? They will address it, baby. They will address it. But nobody can address something that you're not urging by filing. Okay? I don't know if you have an attorney, but you're going to need to get one. And if these are issues that you have, your attorney should be able to assist you. With respect to Zoom information, a lot of the times you can go to a court's website and the Zoom information is there. Okay? Or if you were notified of court, a lot of times the judge gives you the Zoom information right then and there. So you need to just call the clerk of the court. That's really all you have to do. I have sole custody. Hold on one second, because it is cold outside, but it is too hot in my office. Wait a second. Lord have mercy. I have to open the door. I feel like I'm baking. Okay? I feel like I'm melting in front of you. Okay. I was granted sole custody of my two boys, and their dad gets them every first, third, and fifth weekend. My boys beg and cry not to go with him. Here we go. I'm not trying to be rude. And says all he does is force them what to say on social media. I do not want my kids posted on the following. He has posted on the following. He has. There are people from all over sending him money because of my children. I feel as if he is exploiting them. Is there anything I can do legally to stop him from posting my children on social media? I've already asked him not to, and he refuses. He also talks about me badly on there for his views. Someone please tell me how I can make him stop legally. Girl, if you got sole custody, that says something about him. Okay, obviously the court found that something was wrong and that he should not have sole custody, so he just has access to the children and visitation. You are the primary parent and you're the one who makes all the decisions, so why don't you go back to court and tell the court to put the decision down that he cannot put the children on social media because it is exploiting the children. Go back to court, file for that. If your children are old enough, if they're 12 or older, and sometimes if they're younger, the court will still grant a motion to confer, and they can talk to the judge about how they feel about being exploited on the internet. If they don't like it, and they don't like to go over there because of that, you file your motion. That's what you do. You file your motions. Guys, we can complain about stuff, but unless we bring that issue to the court doesn't know that's going on, and the court cannot assist you. Anything that you have a problem with in a child support or child custody order must be addressed by way of filing a motion to the court. You have your hearing, and the court will decide. Okay? And if the children really are literally screaming and begging not to go because they don't like to be posted, I am pretty sure, and you're in Austin, Texas, I'm pretty darn sure the judge will stop anything that they believe that is not in the safety and welfare and mental furtherance and betterment of the children. So you just need to bring that to the court's attention. Also, a lot of times when things are not, when things are hurting a child, the court doesn't want to hear from you. You're a parent, you're biased, you already don't like the other side for whatever reason, or you have a reason to go against the other side for whatever reason. It's very good to get therapists involved when things are, going on like this. Get a therapist involved, and that therapist can testify to the court and or provide a record to the court about what they believe damage is being caused, to the children due to this. That's another way you can also address it, to add additional evidence in furtherance of your case. Okay, let's move on. Oh Lord, these children are a mess. What happens when I get caught stealing at Sephora as a minor? I got caught stealing with two other friends at Sephora today. In total, it was around $700 worth of merchandise. It was a total of my two friends since I didn't take anything. They took us in the back and we complied 100% and didn't argue or talk back. I know because y'all are minors. Y'all shouldn't argue or talk back. But I don't like when people get minors and start talking to them. I hate that. Because children will tell you anything to get the hell out of the situation, whether it's the truth or a lie. They said they called the cops, but they didn't come. Mall security came, but they did nothing but take down my information. Oh, I don't like this. Sephora also called my parents. Anyways, they said I would hear from the DA and would probably get a court date. I'm not sure what's going on because the police didn't even talk to us. They said we were being prosecuted, but I don't really know what that means. They also said we could be facing an organized crime charge because I was there with friends. I hate when people do this to kids. I cannot stand this. They wrote the total on our paper and just gave it to my parents saying I was banned from Sephora and the mall for this amount of time. I do not plan on going back ever. But is there a fine I have to pay? What's going to happen? What's going to happen in court? Is this going to be on my record? I don't address children, so I'm going to address the parents. Have your parents watch this. Parents, I do not like when people talk to children. I cannot stand it. Because I feel like you put a child in a box, you back them against a wall, they will say and do anything to get the hell from behind that, to get you off of them. To get you to back up. And children are minors. They don't know what the hell they're saying. If they wanted to talk, they should have called your parents first before and just called your parents and made you wait. Rather than sit up here and do all these things to you and try to get all these admissions and statements from you on the record and then try to turn that in and then call your parents at the end of it. That to me was not proper. When I fight juvenile cases, I look at that's the first thing I look for. Who in the hell was talking to my child, and do they have the right to do it? I always say my child when they're my client, but that's how I look at it. Who was talking to. And in schools, you can't really get around it sometimes. But then again, I beat every school case or every case that happens in a school. I've never not won one. I can't. Let me knock on wood, but I've never not won one, and this is why. People don't realize that children are not adults. You cannot talk to them the same way. You really shouldn't be talking to them without their parents. They tell you anything, and their testimony is not credible. Any statements they make are not credible. Not to hold up in a court of law. It's hard for you to get statements from a child and carry it over to the court of law. Okay? It's just kind of hard. And then trying to scare them with the organized crime. I mean, that is true. It can be an organized crime charge in some instances. But the chances that they're going to charge kids with organized crime in juvenile court for stealing out of a store, it's called theft. It's called theft. I hate when people do that and they try to blow it up and scare the kids. If the children don't belong to you, your job is not to scare the hell out of them or to teach them anything. You can tell them what is right underneath the circumstances. But trying to drill it home and scare them straight and all this stuff without their parents, I don't approve. And I couldn't have been the parents because, baby, I'd have been following through with something because I'd have said, you took statements from my children without the police. I would have went down that road with them. It would have been a problem. And by the time we were done with it, they wouldn't be wanting to prosecute anybody because they would be so afraid of the things that they have done to my child without me there. And that's just it. As a parent, as a mother, take the attorney hat off. You wouldn't be talking to my child. You wouldn't be doing that and scaring the hell out of my child and holding my child for a long period of time if the police are not coming. If the cops don't want to come, they're not coming. That's it. It's over with. Okay? Turn it into the police, but don't sit up there and hold the kids forever. And then at the end of the day, it gets to a point where they're doing too much. I understand it's $700 worth of merchandise, but let's just be honest. Sephora, you can. I'm wearing Sephora right now. You can get a few eyeliners, a couple of lipsticks, some nail polishes, and some Rihanna Fenty face powder, and you're at $700. I'm just being honest. So let's not act like these kids robbed a bank. Next case, because they didn't rob a bank. They didn't rob a bank. And that stuff is high. And I'm not giving them an excuse. And I'm not saying children should steal. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, what I can't stand about adults is when they like to challenge kids. I hate that shit. They are children. If they are not yours, what the hell are you challenging them for? And I'm going to, let me just get on my soapbox. I cannot stand the type of teachers. First of all, let me just rewind all the way. If your ass don't know how to deal with kids, then just don't deal with kids. If you don't have any or know how to deal with them, because there are plenty of people out there that don't have children that are better to deal with children than women like me who had them from the womb. Okay? If you don't know how to deal with them, don't deal with them. So if you're the type of person, and you people know who you are, that don't like children, don't F with them. Because to me, that's not how, those people don't know how to deal with children. And see, that's the problem. When you have people that don't know how to deal with children and they do things, they mess it up so bad that you can't punish the child because now you're being punished for what you did wrong as an adult. Okay? Happens all the time at school. I cannot stand teachers that call parents every day, all day. If the child is acting bad today and the child was bad yesterday, you know damn well when a child comes in your room today, they're going to act up. They do it every day. So here's what you do. You ignore them. You ignore it and you move past it. I don't like the constant challenge. And I have started to see in my life, personally, as well as at work, that people like to challenge kids. And that's some bullshit to me. I'm tired of teachers saying, well, you know what? Your mama don't want to do nothing. Whenever you come in my classroom, every time you do something, I'm going to call your mama. You challenging a child. That's stupid. Because now that you told the child that, guess what they're going to do every time they come in their classroom? Try to make you call their mama or piss you off. So why do you act like it bothers you? Because you're challenging a child. Someone who does not have the mental capacity, wherewithal mentally. They don't have it. They don't have it. They're children. They don't think on your level. They don't use analytical reasoning. Half the time they're not thinking about the future because they're not wired to do so. You are wired to do so as an adult. Behave like one. I can't stand people who challenge kids. I don't like people who do that. And I have noticed that a lot of y'all are in the schools, in the churches dealing with children. But most of y'all are in the schools. I don't know why the hell you're there, just because you couldn't find anything else to do with your life. And teaching is a good job and with good benefits. So you go plop your ass over in the school. Y'all don't need to be messing with kids. Mall security, you know damn well you're going to be dealing with kids. If you are not a person that likes kids and knows how to deal with kids, I'm going to tell you right now, call somebody else to the job. When the children get locked up in the back of somebody's store, you don't answer that call. You say, Mr. Smith, I'm going to need you to go handle the Sephora call because I don't do kids. I know this is my job, but I don't know how to appropriately address a child. I think that it wouldn't be professional for me to go. I may say or do something that I may say or do to an adult, and I don't think that children should be handled in the same way. You're good with kids. You have 3 kids, or you don't have any kids, but you have 7 nephews, or you like children. Can you please go handle this call? That's what you do. You don't lie to them and try to hold them hostage and talk crazy to them until their parents get there, and then try to behave like you didn't talk crazy to the kids when their parent wasn't there. Now, I'm going to wrap it up with that because I don't play with the kids. I love kids. And I have 3 myself. One of them's a baby. I don't like people playing with kids. I do not like it. And then y'all have to understand that you don't know any child that you come across any day can have a mental health issue, can have an ADHD, can have Asperger's, can have some form of autism. You really don't. If you don't know how to deal with kids, don't talk to them and don't address them. They're minors. And I promise you, you address mine, you're going to feel the wrath of the mommy bear. Not Attorney Ali Booker. You're going to feel the wrath of the mommy bear. And with that, guys, this show is over. This is the court of my public opinion. Okay, order in the court. Court is now, it now stands in recess. Don't play with the kids. I don't play about the children. I don't play about the children. Until next case, stay safe. Do what you need to do for yourself. Better your life. Try to be great. Set goals. Attain them. But don't mess with no kids because, baby, I don't play like that. Goodbye.
Biggest time I made that call. I'm locked up and facing charges. Who gon' fight these cases for me? I called Booker Law Firm. They got the job done. They were right there for me.
For more information, contact the Booker Law Firm at 713-292-2225.